All right, welcome. If you're a clinician thinking about adding EMDR to your practice, you've probably realized something pretty quickly. The training options can be, well, a lot. So in this explainer, we're going to build a really clear roadmap for you, something that'll help you go from feeling confused to feeling totally confident about your choice.
And let's just start by saying if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed, you are definitely not alone. I mean, you've got hundreds of providers, different formats, a huge range of costs. It's a lot to sort through. Our goal here is to give you a simple framework to help you cut through all that noise.
And getting this right is just so important. This decision is a huge investment, not just of your money, but of your time and your energy. It's going to shape your clinical confidence and, of course, the outcomes for your clients.
Okay, so let's dive right in. First things first, what actually is foundational EMDR training? You know, what are the essential building blocks you should be looking for in any quality program?
This is really your ground zero. EMDR Basic Training is designed to get you totally fluent in the core theory. That's the adaptive information processing model, which basically sees trauma as unprocessed memories that are kind of stuck. Then it teaches you the 8 phases of the therapy so you can help clients finally process them.
And the training itself is structured to build your skills step by step. It's not just sitting in a lecture. It's this really powerful mix of theory, watching live demos, and then actually practicing it yourself. And it all leads up to that supervised consultation, which is just vital as you start using EMDR with your real-life clients.
Okay, now let's talk about a huge filter for your search, the EMDRA approved standard. Honestly, this is probably the single most important thing to look for when you start comparing your options.
So you can think of EMDRIA approval as a seal of quality. They're the professional organization that makes sure a program is meeting these really rigorous, internationally recognized standards for what's taught, who's teaching it, and how you're supervised.
So what does that seal of quality really guarantee? Well, it starts with a rock-solid theoretical foundation. You're going to get a minimum of 20 hours of didactic or classroom instruction where you really get into the nuts and bolts of the model and the protocols.
Then you move from theory into practice with another 20 hours of supervised practicum. This is where it all comes to life. You get to practice the techniques with your peers in a really supportive, hands-on setting. And finally, this is the part that bridges the gap between the classroom and your own office. The standard requires 10 hours of consultation. This is your space to bring in your actual cases, get feedback from an expert, and really hone your skills.
So, EMDRA approval is really your foundation for the future. It's not just about this one course. It's basically your non-negotiable ticket to eventually becoming a certified EMDR therapist and getting into all the cool advanced trainings down the road.
Okay, so now that we've established that gold standard, let's start building your personal checklist. Because here's the thing, even among all the EMDRA-approved trainings, they are not all created equal.
The trainer themselves might be the most critical piece of the puzzle. You really want to look for someone with deep clinical experience who can make the material feel alive. You know, a great tip is to check out their website. See if they have any videos or webinars you can watch to get a feel for their teaching style before you commit.
Next up, you've got a big decision: format. In-person training gives you that immersive, face-to-face connection. But virtual training, it offers incredible flexibility and, of course, saves you on travel costs. There is no one right answer here. It's all about what truly works for your schedule, your budget, and how you learn best.
You can use this table as your guide to really dig into the details. Ask about consultation. Are all 10 of those hours included, or is that an extra cost? Think about the cohort size, and definitely look at the pacing. Having a good gap between Part 1 and Part 2 is awesome because it gives you time to practice and bring real cases to your consultation group, which makes the learning so much deeper.
All right, to help you choose wisely, let's talk about some of the common missteps clinicians can make. Knowing what to watch out for can save you a ton of headaches down the road.
It is so tempting, I know, but choosing the cheapest option isn't always the best value. If that lower price means you're sacrificing the quality of the trainer, or the size of your consultation groups, or just general support, it can really compromise your training in the long run.
This is a big one. It's so important to remember that EMDRI approval is the floor, not the ceiling. The teaching styles, the quality of the consultation, a trainer's particular expertise, and just the whole vibe of the learning environment can be wildly different between two programs that are both fully approved.
Now, this is just a practical tip, but trust me, it's a real issue. Demand for high-quality EMDR training is through the roof. It is no exaggeration to say that popular trainings are filling up fast. Some cohorts in 2026 are already filling up. So if you find a program that feels right, don't wait.
Okay, let's bring this all together. You've done your research, you've asked the right questions. So how do you take those final steps and make your choice with total confidence? Use this as your final check. First, the logical stuff. Does it align with your clinical goals? Can you actually commit to the schedule? Does it fit your budget? And then, after all that, check in with your intuition. What does your gut tell you? That feeling of confidence in the program is often the final and most important piece of the puzzle.
Because ultimately, this is what it all boils down to. This choice is about getting the kind of comprehensive preparation you need to facilitate some really profound healing for your clients, and to do it in a way that's both safe and incredibly effective.
So just let this one question be your final guide. The answer is going to point you down the right path, not just for you, but for all the clients whose lives you're going to change.